Welcome back. Right, I just thought I'd just break off building what I'm doing at the moment, just to show you part of the build which I've actually arrived at, which I think is worth a particular special mention as to what to look out for and how you go about things. Okay, and that part of the build is the what's called the corner caps. Okay, so they're an extra part of the building, which by its name is it's the corners, okay, of the building, which have to be covered up with something, obviously, and something a little bit in stone and more substantial than the actual building itself. Right. Anyway, I'll show you the corner caps to begin with. Okay, there's 6 of them in total, and I'll show you then where they go on the building and why we have to be careful of how we put the things together. Okay. Right, there's some long ones, okay. There's some long corner caps there. I'll just turn the camera around a bit so you can see them a bit better. Okay. Right, so these 2 here, they're the long ones, okay. Haven't finished folding the paper around these yet. They've got to be glued and folded so that eventually they look like this. Okay. And these are another 2 which are shorter than the others. Okay, so that's 4. And then at the end we've got 2 very short ones which go on the back of the building. Right. Now, as you can see with these, there's kind of like strips. Can you see them? Okay. They're actually glued on to a sheet of stone-coloured paper. There's white lines on the paper. You cut out the strips which go from right round the back there, right round this side, right round that side. You glue those to cover up the white on the base paper. Then you glue and fold around the actual end cap, what they call the base layers, okay, which is the cardboard. All that would be fairly simple if it were not for the fact that the white lines onto which you put these strips which you've cut off are not that much more, only a couple of thou, I think, the white lines smaller than the actual bits that you stick over the top of them. So it's extremely delicate job to ensure that the strip that you glue over covers the white lines, otherwise you're going to see white here. I think in actual fact it doesn't make it three-dimensional as such, although the paper lines that you've put on, the strips that you've put on do sit proud a bit, okay, and it might be a good actual ledge for dirt and this, that and the other to adhere to when you come to weathering. Okay. Now these corner caps go vertical on the corner of the building, okay, and these lines here, which exist only in a number of them at the bottom, as you go up, there's one at the top here, okay, and there's one here, and then there's a whole bunch of them down here, okay. The whole bunch of them down here actually sit at the bottom of when you stick it onto the building, sticks on the bottom. Okay, now that is fairly straightforward, only you have to make certain, of course, that on certain ones of these, not on all of them, that you've got a left hand and a right hand. Alright, right, let me just explain that. Right, on the small ones here, okay, they've got no lines. Alright, no lines at all, just a piece of paper. And it's glued onto kind of like an L-shaped card, okay? That L-shaped card obviously is 2 bits of card glued up to form an angle, like that, angle iron, yeah? Alright, so as you can see on this one, if you look at the dimensions on the inside of that, the vertical and horizontal dimension is the same, okay? So that's equal. So this dimension here is just over 1 millimetre, okay? And as we turn it around and measure the other one, that is just over 1 millimetre as well. So it's equal. On the inside, it is equal, okay? Right, so it doesn't matter which way up or down this goes because it's equal. So as they're equal, you don't have to have a left or a right either, okay? They can go on either way, upside down, that way up, left and right, they're both exactly the same. Now, with the ones which have the stripes on, the raised sections, they have to go at the bottom. So you have to make absolutely certain that you have a left and a right. If, in actual fact, the legs, the L shape, was unequal. But on this one, again, that height there and that width there on the inside are equal. So as far as I can see, it doesn't matter which way up you glue on the cover, it can go, although it says top, if you see on there it's printed on top, isn't it? You can use those as a guide, obviously. If you want to be absolutely certain, use that as the top and then make sure these are at the bottom, alright? Now, there's a difference when it comes to the other ones, okay, the medium length ones, because as you can see on there, one of the, let's get one which is square, shall we? Right. One of the legs is longer than the other, okay. Inside dimension from top to bottom is smaller than the inside dimension from one side to the other. So there's a specific way that these go, alright, a specific way. In actual fact, the narrow side, which is this side, as opposed to the other, which is wider, as you can see, okay? Alright. The narrow side goes to the front of the building. Okay? So that is the front of the building. This slips down the side of the building. So you make absolutely certain on these you've got a left and a right, and that the little lines are at the bottom. So when you glue the paper onto the card there, think about it before you actually stick it. Alright? I'll just quickly show you where the I'll just clear this a bit. Where they go, these caps. I'll bring the building over. Okay. I'll use the old zoomy thing on the whatnot. Okay. And you can see them. That's it there. Okay. Right. So the ones which are medium, okay, they go on the corners here, alright? So we've got the narrow section at the front and the wider section going down the side of the building, okay? So we've got to have an equal and opposite one on this end, alright? So we've got those strips of card at the bottom, strips of paper at the bottom, and the narrow side at the front. So we have to be absolutely certain we get that round the right way. Okay. Now these longer ones, which I haven't quite glued up and finished yet, they will go on the front of the building here. All right. And as the dimension inside is equal in both directions, the only thing that matters is getting the lines of paper at the bottom. Okay. And the other two that we've got, the little short ones, they go at the back of the building, just there. Okay, one here and one the other side. So that's the corner caps, which is the next job, which I'm going to get on with when my brain starts working again. Right, okay, I'll see you either, dependent upon how long this works out, we'll see you again soon, alright, when we continue a bit more.